I'm going to give you a tour of some of the projects that my husband is working on this spring. The first one that he's been working on is, let me back up here so I can get the whole thing in. This is going to be our brooder house. We're going to be raising ducks and chicks in here. This was my brother's chicken coop, and he didn't need it anymore and hadn't used it for several years, so he gave it to us. And it's a really neat design, A-frame style. And my husband moved it over to this spot, and my brother-in-law and my son helped cut down a couple of trees. There were a couple of apple trees here, and then Scott cleaned all this mess out. There was weeds and raspberry brambles and all kinds of stuff right here. So he cleaned that all out, and he moved the A-frame over here. And then he had to gut the inside because it hadn't had any chickens in it for quite a few years, and it had gotten all yucky. So he gutted it all out, took the nest boxes out and the perches out, pressure washed the inside, and then put a new floor in it. And I'm not sure of the size. I think it's like a 6 by 8 or a 6 by 10. I'm really not very good at judging. I know it's 6 feet wide, but I'm not sure how long it is. And this is what we're going to use to raise our chicks. I'm going to raise some ducklings in here, and then once they get feathered out, I'll move them over to my duck coop, and then we're going to raise meat chickens in here. And the meat chickens they'll stay in here until it's time to butcher. We're not quite done with this project yet. It's got the inside all ready to go, but we still need to put a yard on the back. We're going to put a yard in here, and here's the door for the chickens to come out, because once they get feathered out, then they can come outside and scratch around and spend time outside in the sunshine until it's time to butcher them. And this is my dad's chickens, his hens, and he's got one rooster in there. And this is where we get most of our eggs for our business. We're kind of in business. Listen to that rooster. We're in business together selling eggs, and he's got about 40 chickens here. Of course, there's some of them inside. And this is another A-frame, and it's much bigger building, and my brother also built that. But we're going to tie the fence for this brooder house. We're going to tie into the existing fence here and bring it across here, this opening, and we're going to put a gate in the fence. I'm not sure where. That's my husband's business. He's going to take care of that. And then this tree we left because it provides good shade for the chickens in the summer. So that's one of his projects that he's working on. And we're ready for ducks. We can get some ducklings anytime. We don't have to have the fenced-in yard for the ducks. So we're just waiting to find a source to find some ducklings. Okay, we will be back with his next project. Here's a view of the two coops next to each other from a distance, from looking from my house over to the coops. The next project that he is currently working on is in a little apartment area for my chicken Virginia, who is lame, and I will tell you her story in another video. But we're going to make it like a movable, like a tractor coop, but we won't have to hook a tractor to it. She's just one chicken, and she's a small breed, so she doesn't need a lot of space. But so far he's got just the basic framing of it up. It's going to be obviously A-frame style. There's these two overhanging poles here on this end and on the other end, so that it'll take 3 of us to move it. One to catch the chicken, and 2 to move the frame, and then to put the chicken back in, to put Virginia back in. But this is all going to be covered in chicken wire, clear to the ground. Of course, he'll have framing, wood framing along the bottom, and then he's going to build a small nest box area for her on one end, and it's going to be covered, I don't know, with OSB or something, and then he's going to put a tarp over that to protect the wood. And the tarp will hang out a ways to give her some shade. And then there's going to be a door in it, in the back of the nest box area, and then in the side of this coop here, or the yard area, there'll be 2 doors. So we can make sure she has food and water and get her out when we need to. But this is just the beginnings of it. He ran out of screws yesterday, so he's got to go get more of those. And we're basically using wood that we already had laying around from other projects and from an old place swing set that my kids had that they're obviously too big for anymore. This is all lumber that we already had. That's why it's painted. We are trying to do this project with as little expense as we can. We're in the process of getting out of debt, and I told him that I want to do it with as much of the material that we already have laying around the house. I mean, that uses up material, gets it out of the way, gives it a purpose, and saves us money in the long run. So he spent the weekend ripping these boards into smaller boards that can be of more use to him. And then for the brooder house yard, he's going to use, for fence posts, he's going to use tree trunks. We have a whole grove of black locust trees. I'll take you over there to show you. Hold on a minute. We'll be right back. These are the black locust trees. They grow tall and straight. You can see they go way up tall. And they're kind of like a weed. I mean, they really are a weed. They're a pest. They send out shoots through their roots, and other trees will come up. And you have to. This is our backyard, and if we did not mow it, it would just be completely covered in black locust trees. So it's a renewable resource that's free right in our backyard. So he's going to be cutting down black locust trees to make fence posts out of. I will do a follow-up video when this is done, when Virginia's apartment is done, and when the fencing is done for the poultry house, for the brooder house. I'll do a quick follow-up video on that when we're all done with those 2 projects. And I hope you enjoyed this little tour of how I keep my husband incredibly busy. And we will talk to you later. Bye.